Hey everyone, it is Dani and welcome to this update video. I trust and hope that you're doing really great. Unfortunately for me, I've been infected with the flu it seems, and it's definitely difficult for me to talk as I have a really bad sore throat, but nonetheless, I'm here with an update on what is happening across the tropics. And so before I go into details, please do subscribe if you haven't yet done so and tap the bell so that you never miss an important video. Alright, and so let us go ahead and get straight into what is happening, and we're taking a look at the outlook from the National Hurricane Center. So what was previously known as Tropical Depression 11, which was struggling out there, managed to grab the window of opportunity to develop, and it became Tropical Storm Jose this morning. So we've got a new storm out there. Thankfully, it is not a threat to land, and additionally we've got Idalia and Franklin. Let's go on to Idalia first. Here on the satellite imagery, we can definitely see that the storm is moving out of the eastern states quite quickly, so these impacts this morning should eventually improve as the day goes on, because Idalia is quickly making her way out. So as we look at the cone forecast here, we can see that it has maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour and is moving to the east northeast at 21 miles per hour. There's still that tropical storm warning that is in effect, but as I said, conditions will improve as the day goes on. But eventually, as we head into early next week, Bermuda could be facing a hit from this, it seems. So if you're in Bermuda, you want to keep watch as we're going to be heading into Sunday and into Monday, when Idalia is going to be making her way in the vicinity of the island. Of course, I'll be keeping you guys posted on that. Going on to Franklin now. Franklin is moving further and further away from Bermuda, so that tropical storm warning was discontinued, and it is sustaining winds of 100 miles per hour and moving to the east-northeast at 15 miles per hour. So as we head into the end of this week, going into early next week, it should be downgraded to a post-tropical cyclone, meaning that it is going to be losing its tropical characteristics as a result of approaching cooler water temperatures and overall just a more unfavorable environment for any sorts of tropical cyclone formation or intensification to take place. Next, we're heading on to Jose. So as I said, it's not going to be a problem for anyone, and it should dissipate maybe by tomorrow evening. So it's not going to be around for a very long time, but it is sustaining winds of 40 miles per hour and moving to the north at 5 miles per hour. And then just to the west of Jose is the remnants of Gert, which are still around. That formation chance, which was at 10% yesterday, has been increased to 30%. So we could see something become of it. Let's wait and see what's going to happen. These cyclones are coming on so quickly and unexpectedly right now because of just how warm the ocean temperatures are. So once conditions are right, even for a very short amount of time, we'll definitely see some intensification take place. And then next, we're heading to the coast of Africa. Here we are, and we can see all this disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity, and that is all in association with Invest 94L, which is a disturbance we might see develop as we head into the next couple of days. So as we can see, it is highlighted in red, and that represents that the formation chance is high at 70% through the next 7 days and also through the next 2 days. So it's likely that very soon this will become a depression, and the next name to be used for this hurricane season is Katia. So it seems as though we'll have another storm talking about as we head into next week. And aside from the Cabo Verde Islands, it doesn't seem as though anywhere else is going to really be impacted by this system. And so now we want to go ahead and move into the vicinity of the Caribbean. So here we are, and we are seeing that there is a lot of thunderstorm activity across some parts of the Yucatan Peninsula, sections of Mexico, going into Belize, maybe even extending into parts of northern Honduras and Guatemala. Lots of showers and thunderstorms going down into parts of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, but especially in Panama and Colombia. We see that big cluster of activity over there this morning. Same story as we head into parts of central Venezuela, but for most islands of the Caribbean, there isn't much happening. A bit of scattered showers and thunderstorms streaming in from the Atlantic, moving into the southeastern islands, but there isn't anything much going on right now, nor is anything crazy expected. And that little cluster of disorganized showers we see is in association with a tropical wave which is making its way across the Caribbean. As we head further up to the north, here we can see that there's still some thunderstorm activity taking place across parts of the northern Bahamas and even go into parts of southern Florida, that residue from Idalia. So this time yesterday, we were talking about a major hurricane about to make landfall. So today it is a complete change, and we've definitely seen our conditions have improved, and I'm really glad about that, because if Idalia was moving a lot slower, it would still be in the vicinity and still producing some dangerous conditions. So thankfully it's going to be moving out later today, but down the road, as I said, it could be a problem for Bermuda. And so guys, finally I want to take you to what the models have to show, because they have been pretty much consistent about us seeing development as we're going to be heading into next week, the first week of September. So let's go ahead and kickstart things looking at the GFS model. And so there we have the time right there, the greens, yellows that you see, that represents the precipitation rate, but we're really looking for those squiggly lines. They're called isobars, and they join areas of equal pressure. So when we see them being closed in a circular manner, and there are a lot of them, and also if the value that we see is decreasing, and that value represents the pressure in millibars, then we likely have a tropical cyclone dealing with. So as we head on to the GFS model, here we can see that it is showing the current systems out there, and also 94L developing into our next named storm as we head into the early part of next week. Eventually, it shows a tropical wave making its way off the coast of Africa, and moving on a west-northwest or northwestward track. There we have that high pressure there. Now, these high pressure systems, they help to influence the track of our tropical cyclones, because they are like blockades, and tropical cyclones cannot just go through them. So once they stabilize themselves over the central North Atlantic, we typically have more storms moving into the Caribbean, but once they migrate to the east, then these storms would get that opportunity to curve around the system so that it can make its way up to the north and then eventually to the northeast. So GFS has it that we will be seeing development, but this system would be missing the Caribbean. Head into the Euro model as we head into tomorrow. Here we see again 94L trying to develop and become something pretty interesting here, and that next tropical wave moving off as we head into the early part of next week. And notice that Euro is showing that development is going to be slower, and has this making its way further to the west. So Euro is expecting a closer approach to the Caribbean, and has the system intensifying at a slower rate before picking up in doing so. And then finally we have the Icon model. Again, we see all these models consistent about seeing some development of 94L, and then there's that tropical wave moving off Africa as we head into the early part of next week, continuing to the west, but then slowing down. There's that high pressure system, so it has that opportunity to move around it, so it's going to take it. So similarly taking on a track more to the north. So that is what our three models are showing, guys, and we've got the very warm waters out there to fuel these systems. Here we are looking at the sea surface temperature map here. It's very warm out there, and that is why we've seen such rapid intensification of our more recent cyclones, Franklin and Idalia. So this is going to be further aiding in a lot more development and intensification as we head further into the peak of the hurricane season. And so I'll continue to keep you guys posted as necessary. If I'm not feeling too bad later, I'll definitely be doing an evening update. I really want to, but if I'm worse, I just will be unable to do that. But look out for a community post in the case where I don't post an update video, but I'll do my best to get it done. So that is pretty much what I wanted to share with you in this update, and I hope you found it to be quite informative. But if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll respond to you once I get the chance to do so, and as always, remember to boil the wise.